Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something different. Has there ever been an anime in which you thought ended too soon? Well, that's what we're going to cover today. I'm going to share 15 anime I think needs a new season or a spin-off series and what they could be about. In order for an anime to make this list, either the anime needs to have a plot which was left unfinished, or have some opportunity to have a spin-off. Without further ado, let's get straight into the list. Coming up at number 15 is the famous anime To Love-Ru. To Love-Ru's anime currently feels unfinished, but the reason it's only number 15 is because out of all the animes on this list, it has the most seasons. To Love-Ru currently has 4 seasons and a total of 79 episodes if you include OVAs and specials. Due to this anime having so many episodes and the most amount of seasons, it's the lowest on my list. If this anime were to get renewed for another season, what I would like to see is first off, more of Lala, as throughout the entire Darkness series, I realized how important Lala was for the story, since without her, the anime felt like it was missing a key component. As for anything to adapt, I really hope they don't adapt the Darkness manga ending. To put it lightly, it was a horrible ending. What I would like to see is a proper conclusion to the series, and from the path the anime is going, we can assume it's going to have a harem ending. So I would like to see how they get there and then have the conclusion to the series. Number 14 is the lesser known anime, Girlfriend, Carrie. The reason why this anime is number 14 is for 2 reasons. First being that I feel like we still don't know that much about the characters. Secondly, they did decide to do a spin-off for this anime, but they chose to do it on the group of characters I was the least invested in, so it kind of flopped for me. If there was going to be a sequel for this series, the character I would like to see the most focus on is Kokomi, and I would like to see the anime more based off of its source material, being a dating simulator. Due to this, I would like Girlfriend, Carrie's sequel to have a focus on the girls' romance rather than just being about the shenanigans that the high school girls get into. Next at number 13, we have the anime Glasslip. Glasslip is a very wholesome romance anime about 2 characters who have visions of the future. I really want a sequel to the anime, as the ending of this anime left us with not really any romantic development between the 2 protagonists, and none of them have stated if they are truly in love just yet. If there were to be a second season, what I would like to see is a season more focused on the romantic development between the 2 protagonists rather than a focus mostly on their mysterious powers. At number 12 we have Ashura. Ashura is a romance, harem series with a focus on a fake relationship between Neto and Masuzu. While at the end of Ashura, we see Ita and Masuzu in a relationship, the question still rises, is this anime going to go the harem route? I believe we need a second season to tell us just that. In the second season we could either see a development between Ita and Masuzu, or show us how Ita could get a harem ending. Either way, I really like this anime and feel like it needs more content. This anime is very popular, but it really didn't do that well, so the possibility of a sequel would be quite low. Coming up at number 11 is the anime Koi to Uso. Koi to Uso is a romance anime centered around how the government decides who you marry in order to solve their dying population. At the end of Koi to Uso, the protagonist, Yuujik, states that he cares for both of the girls, but this leaves the question, what's next? We still don't know the consequences for people who don't follow their assigned wives, so who will he choose? If he goes against the law, would he get arrested? Or what could happen if it goes the harem route? We need a second season to get these questions answered, but that doesn't seem very likely. The anime didn't do that well, so we can assume that this anime is over with. Number 10 is Rakudai Kishi no Cavalry, also known as Chivalry of a Failed Knight. This anime is an action and romance anime centered around a school which teaches people to manipulate their souls to form powerful weapons. The ending of this anime left me feeling extremely disappointed, as we were given a tournament to find the top students from the protagonist's school, but when we see who is the top students, the anime ends and we don't get to see them compete in the battle they worked so hard to get to. We also get to see Iki propose to Stella in the last episode. If this anime does get renewed for a second season, what I would like to see is the next tournament with Stella and Iki battle in the finals just like they promised. I believe that the second season should also include their wedding at some point, even if it's short. Next up at number 9 is Kawai Korea Hentai de Musuki ni Natkura Masuka, more simply called Hensuki. Throughout this anime we see the protagonist, Keiki, try to find out who left him his first love letter, as the writer didn't drop their name in the letter. At the end of the anime, he finds out that the writer was his sister, but we don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know if he has feelings for his sister or any of the other girls in the anime. For more content, I would either like a couple of OVAs or a sequel which would show which character Keiki has feelings for and what happens after the shocking ending from the season we currently have. The number 8 spot belongs to the anime Noren. Noren is about an idol retiring and having a more simple life, being a farmer. To do so, she joined a high school which centers around agriculture. Before I talk about the ending, I would like to point out that some of this info might be wrong, since I watched this one dubbed, so they could possibly have altered the script. With that aside, the thing I hated about the ending of the anime is that the protagonist, Kosaku, says that there are plenty more stories to tell, but it's been 6 years since he said that. I want to know where's the rest of the stories, Kosaku? If this anime does randomly get a green light for a second season, I would like to see more of the normal chaos of the anime along with some romantic development between Ringo and Kosaku. The anime I think deserves the number 7 slot is Nanana's Buried Treasure. This anime is about the character Jugo and his time on a special island made for his education. Throughout the anime we see Jugo go on all kinds of adventures to collect the ghost, Nanana's treasure. In the final episode, Jugo makes a promise to Nanana and we get a post-credit scene, but there's no second season to support either of those two events. If this anime were to get renewed for a second season, I would like to see Jugo find Nanana's killer and some answers to whatever is going on in that post-credit sequence, because that was insane. At number 6 is Classroom of the Elite. Classroom of the Elite is about a school which contains all the top students throughout Japan competing against each other to be at the top. Honestly, all this anime left me was a bunch of questions. When the ending for this anime came, we realized how little we knew about Kiyotaka and how he plans to use Suzune, when she obviously has feelings for him. Honestly, the stats for this anime look extremely good, but I heard that manga fans hate it. Due to this harsh reality, I believe that this could branch out two ways if the creators decide to turn back to this series. They could make a sequel of the series about Class D surpassing Class A, or they could decide to do a full reboot. In the reboot, they could try to make the anime appealing to the manga fans while also keeping some of the parts that made the original anime so good too. Alright, we made it to the top 5. Coming in at the number 5 spot is Fortune Arterial. Fortune Arterial is an anime about the high school life of Kohei, but there's a twist. A couple of students at the school are vampires. Throughout the anime, we see the heroine, Eriga, try to fight her desires as a vampire to be a typical high school student. My least favorite part about the ending was that Kohei and Erica never did end up becoming a couple, so if this were to get another season, I would like to see it happen. Honestly, there is little to no possibility of a sequel, since the anime did horribly. So, I'm sure that the creators would see a sequel as a waste of money. Nonetheless, I really want a sequel to this series. Up next in the number 4 slot is Neto no Yonwa o Nanokoja in Iomata, more commonly known as And You Thought There Is Never a Girl Online. When I first watched this anime, I really loved it, but one thing really got me angry, that was the ending. When the ending for the anime came, they teased a relationship between Nago and Nishimura, but didn't deliver. If this anime were to return, the thing I would like to see the most is romantic development between Nago and Nishimura and Ako finally learning the difference between the game and real life. Although this anime didn't do well, it still is very popular, to the point where Ako and Ryujin were featured in the mobile game Crossing Void. So who knows, maybe if they get popular enough in the game, the anime might return, but until then, the future of this anime remains uncertain. Number 3 was one of the animes featured in the latest episode of Clash of the Animes, Aoharu Ride. The reason why I want a sequel is because the anime left the future of all the characters uncertain, since nobody confessed any feelings to the opposite sex. I see no reason why the anime hasn't gotten a sequel, as it's extremely popular and has plenty to go off on in its respective manga. If it were to get a sequel, I honestly hope they would slightly change the story, since I heard that the manga has a really sad and disappointing ending. Either way, I hope we can get some more content from the Aoharu Ride developers. The anime in the number 2 position is the anime Girlish Number. Honestly, I really love this anime and I really want to see more. When the anime ended, it really didn't feel that satisfying, since it left the opportunity open for several possibilities. First of all, they could decide to do a spin-off, such as an anime focused on Nanami, or they could take one of two approaches to a sequel. The first one could be returning where the anime left off and continue showing Chitose's experience voice acting in the sequel to the anime she acted in. Or they could do something similar to what White Album 2 was, where the story took place years after the events of the original series about a character which idolizes Chitose and wishes to become a voice actor like her. A final option they could do is make a couple of OVAs about Girlish Number Ashura portraying the wacky situations in that manga. Finally, at number 1, you probably guessed it, it's Nogi's Aoharu no Himitsu. Nogi's Aoharu no Himitsu had an amazing ending, which takes it out of the criteria I stated at the beginning, but to put it simply, I want more. Since it had a proper ending, I suppose you might wonder, what could they possibly make an anime about? While what I want to see is the spin-off series/sequel series Nogi's Asuka no Himitsu. A story about Haruka's daughter, Asuka, and her aim to become an Akihabara expert. Honestly, I believe that this anime could possibly be the most likely to get an adaptation. You probably think that it's just because I'm biased because it's my favorite anime, but I have some evidence which may back this up. Keep in mind this is just speculation though. Let's get into a little anime theorizing here. Have you noticed that as of April 17, 2020 the ending song on my channel changed? Well, that's because on April 14, 2020, UMG just obtained claims to all end songs. Thus now automatically claims any video uploaded with an end song in it. I believe that this could mean a couple of things. Either UMG just bought out all rights to anything from Diamedia, or Nogi's Aoharu no Himitsu is coming back. Since UMG is American made, that means if Nogi's Aoharu no Himitsu does come back, then it would probably be an English dub, but if that does well, it might make the creators want to adapt the sequel in order to appeal to their English audience. If you want me to do a video going over the stats on Nogi's Aoharu no Himitsu and average stats required for a dub, I'll do it at some point. I guess if this does end up happening, you can say I predicted it, but until then, I'll just sit here looking like I'm crazy.